Okay, welcome back to the Ratchet and Clank comparison series, where we're comparing the classic 2002 Ratchet and Clank to the 2016 release, or the reimagining of Ratchet and Clank. So we've covered a few planets so far, and we've hit an interesting place in our journey where our path has had to diverge a little bit. So we've
and the
have
reason
to improvise a little bit.
The reason for this divergence is because the new game has cut a few planets. They've actually already cut one so far on the stream, the logging planet Eudora, Rest in Peace, or With the Dead Trees. That was also an attempt at a joke. Currently, I'm on a planet also discontinued. This one, after this, we'll actually have a lot of interesting things to say about the story and the placement of various bosses, etc. Oh, wow, I'm just jumping in for trouble.
So earlier in the chat, someone kind of asked about what's your favorite. Well, I think he was asking.
Wait, before we get onto that, can we just recap what we're doing, since the stream knows, but our future viewers
Yeah,
don't?
okay.
Basically, not only do our paths diverge, but then the order changes. So what happens is we're going to do a reverse comparison, or something weird. Basically, I'm going to be on one planet, Caleb's going to be on the other, and then we're going to switch, and I'm going to be on the planet he was, and he's going to be on the planet I was. So you'll, within close proximity, get a sort of comparison. Ouch, I'm really not doing well today. Well, not today, but this episode. So, yep.
I could maybe fix something up in editing. We'll see.
Yeah. Now, your question was, or the question.
So, they were asking what was your favorite. I think, kind of in particular, out of these two, what do you prefer out of this, like the new one, reimagining, or the classic? But we can take it to a broader topic of overall favorite Ratchet and Clank game.
I think for me it depends. What am I looking for?
Like gameplay, the modern one.
Gameplay, the modern one.
Like how it feels.
How it feels, how it plays, how it looks. How it looks. Well, there's no comparison there. There really is. As we said earlier in the stream, someone said, "Is it just me, or does seeing it in comparison to the new one make the old one feel sort of empty?" And that's absolutely correct. We've said it about 50 times, but the difference that lighting alone makes in terms of atmosphere and mood is just immense. So, from all those all those perspectives, we like the modern one better. I'm not entirely sure what Caleb's full stance on this, but there's actually part of me that likes the story, the narrative, the character development and character arcs in the first game better. But there's a lot to discuss on that, and we don't want to plunge too far into that just yet.
I lost by 300 milliseconds.
That's pretty close.
I was winning.
Well, look, you've got a whole planet to goof around there, so you've got victories.
I've got lots of time. Man.
Now, I can't hear the flipping tripads to know how close I am to failing. Oh, it's okay. I can just tell myself that if I can't hear the sound, then I'm good to go. Oh no! Oh, it jumped. What a mistake.
Like, if it was about which would I rather play, probably the new one, because it's just nicer to play. It's more
definitely.
responsive.
In terms of just controls, responsiveness, like the old one is. I wouldn't say it's a chore to play, because it is still fun to play, but it is not
and there's just
a polished experience.
There's so many basic things which have been kind of staples of Ratchet and Clank
for
the last 14 years, except they weren't in the first one.
This looks like a face. This looks like a destroyed face.
What is it supposed to be?
Sometimes I wonder how many of these pipes and contraptions were meant to look like faces, and how many just do because the human brain is programmed to find faces.
Yeah, there is that.
And with that observation, I silenced our commentary. I guess we're going to have to call it quits here, guys. It was a good run. We really tried, but I just screwed it up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. 2 deaths on this level. plus the one I had to do for the sake of continuity.
Yeah, maybe just leave the insightful comments to me.
Who does that remind me of? Or what does that remind me of? Leave the insightful comments to me.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, actually.
Don't worry.
If I lose this... I think I made it.
You see, I've never lost a hoverboard race on the remake. So, I can do it on my first try. Must be pretty easy. Story and the pacing, yeah, that's the one thing that I have issues with. What I will say is that even though I'm not too happy with the story in the new game, the use of character, and by character I mean Captain Quark, Ratchet and Clank, the use of them is still great. There's nothing bad about the way those three characters are used.
I feel like they missed some of the stuff in the story, right? And I want to see the movie because I want to know how it fits in and how the overall story fits in, because I feel like the characters it assumes like you already know them.
So what you said before was we should do a three-way comparison of the original PS2 game, which we're not actually doing, we're doing the HD remake. So the original PS2 game, the HD remake, and then the new game. Do you think we should do a four-way comparison and have the movie playing at the same time in that stream?
Well, you got some copyright issues there.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a hassle. I thought I'd had a good idea.
Though there was that guy who, I don't know if it's still around, or if it got pulled down or whatever, but he did he played all, like, the first 6 Star Wars movies as each little square and an overall window. And so you could just watch them all at once. And then you could, like, see the different times that they finish or whatever.
That's really cool.
And it was up online, and they might have pulled it down by now. But it's that kind of thing where I think all the audio was mixed in as well. So you're not really getting the movie.
You're just getting this weird experience.
Yeah, I guess
That's cool, that's cool.
But
then the copyright strikes.
There are certain things of copyright where if you're using it, like, this is the stuff around fair use, if you're using it in a way like commentary, not so much commentary, like if you're using clips for a review, that would probably be alright. If it's kind of news related, it's generally alright.
Let's see if the Pyrocida works better here, actually. I'd normally go with the You see, I always went with the blaster as a kid. Now that I'm older, I'm more intelligent, I think of better solutions, and I realize how dumb I was as a kid. And how dumb I was a year ago when I played this game.
Have you finished the hoverboard racing now,
So I'd do more. Go collect bolts, see if you can figure them out.
Yeah.
Oh, you can go to Navalis and do that cave.
You know what I should do? I should get a new controller because this one's going flat.
That's a good idea.
Okay, I'm gonna go do that.
So I'll fill in for you while you're gone. I'll do your commentary for you.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not that intelligent. I'll harass our chat on Twitch.
Oops.
Oh, okay. Now I get to use that mythical device, the Hydro Displacer. Which the new game has told us was originally designed to unclog Valkyrie toilets. That's something we didn't know when we played the first game. Then again, we didn't even know what the Valkyries were. Good Ratchet and Clank 2 sub-villain group. Not 2, Ratchet and Clank Crack in Time. Sometimes I think my brain and my words are not very well aligned.
I should mute my microphone.
You see, this is where that inspiration... I think this is... Someone said they didn't like that the Blackwater sewers had the fish crawling around in them. But if you look at my screen, you can see the fish crawling around. And I think in cutting this level, they wanted to retain this piece of functionality or this little thing, and so they brought it back in the sewers instead. That was the door. Probably heard it. So fishy. They were called Valkyries. They were the flying people. The flying lady people. Yeah. There we go. Caleb's back with the controller. He's attempting to make it work.
Just looking at your screen, see what it looks like.
Basically criticizing me with subliminal looks.
Have you answered those questions?
What questions? No, that one only just came up.
That's a good question.
Do you think... I don't think...
That's an interesting question.
What would I have...
What would you do? Are they going to do anything?
I remember when I got to the end of the Crack in Time and I thought to myself, if they ever are going to end Ratchet and Clank, this is the place to do it. There was something fulfilling about that end to a Crack in Time. A Crack in Time, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, a Crack in Time was my favourite game in the franchise for so many reasons. It struck a chord with me. There were a lot of things in that game that I'd wanted in a Ratchet and Clank since the offset. There were a lot of things in that game, like simple things like the hover boots, which have essentially in concept been around since, once again, the magical game Ratchet and Clank 2. But we're not... Well, that's where so much of where modern Ratchet and Clank stems from.
It's such a change. It's like...
Yeah, it's the big change. The game.
If you were like to take the delta between two games, that would be the biggest.
Yeah. It definitely would. And then I think the next biggest would be a Crack in Time compared to whatever came before it. Whether you want to call that Tools of Destruction or
yeah,
Quest for Booty, but
I'm not going to count Quest for Booty.
Yeah, this is not a main game. It's not
it's a tech
It's
demo.
not a full game.
It's...
But things like the hover boots were just this perfection of the concept of the charge boots. One of my personal favourite things in a Crack in Time was all the little moons you could go to, and I loved that. That was something I had always wanted to do, just explore space, go to moons, do things that weren't directly tied to the plot and necessary, but still added to the game and the experience and gave you good rewards. But the story was very fulfilling. Spoiler alert from here on out, because I don't think we can spoil all the games in one stream without some sort of warning. I don't mind spoiling a 14-year-old game, but a 7-year-old game isn't quite as bad. And that puts it in perspective how long it's been since there's been
halfway through, right?
A full
so amazing
major game, a full major traditional game in the franchise. But I don't know.
It is crazy that
the
Crack in Time, that's kind of the peak, and it's been so long.
Yeah. I think the whole thing about a Crack in Time, well, not the Crack in Time, the whole future saga, is that it's very much for both heroes, Ratchet and Clank, the search for identity.
Crack in Time's a PS3 game, so yeah, you would better get it on PS3.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, what do they do next? Do they... they'll finish the future series to a point.
I'd say there's... The only thing they could do is go, okay, we're actually going to take you to another dimension and go and meet the Lombaxes. But I don't think that's the right direction after the resolution in a Crack in Time.
I don't think that... Yeah, especially kind of...
The thing was, as I was saying...
The point of the story was that he doesn't necessarily need the Lombaxes. He's got Clank and all these other people.
Yeah.
Right?
It was very much a quest for identity, Ratchet being the only Lombax, Clank wondering, well, wait, do I have a soul? Although they didn't really... They said that was a big thing. They didn't touch too much on it, but Clank really did get a sense of belonging and purpose and all that. And Clank gave all that up to be with Ratchet, and Ratchet actually had the option to go join the Lombaxes, but gave that up to still be a hero and be where people needed him. And I think then furthering that out and going to find more Lombaxes would belittle that.
A Crack in Time is not the 4-player one. That's All for One. A Crack in...
The way you said it sounded like that's the awful one.
All for One.
All for One has gotten a bad rap, I think.
I actually quite like All for One.
Well,
for what it is, it's not.
For what
it's
it is,
different, but...
I think I've got this wonderful ability to, I think, compartmentalize and break things down. And when I saw that game, I thought, this isn't going to be a traditional Ratchet and Clank, and I instantly moved it in my mind from Ratchet and Clank to a 4-player co-op game with a Ratchet and Clank theme.
And weapons was kind of...
Yeah, well, Ratchet and
like,
Clank.
that kind of...
And
playing that, all those weapons
and
the
once
dynamics
I
of that.
told myself, well, it's a 4-player party game with the whole Ratchet and Clank theme, that made all the difference because I really enjoyed it from that point. Caleb and I, it was for a semi-pseudo birthday celebration of his, and
like we neither of us had really played it. It had been a little while. We're like,
it had been out for quite a while, and we were like, it's a Ratchet and Clank. We need to play this, and it's co-op, so let's just play it together. And it was our first full playthrough each, and we sat there. I think it was a 12-hour night. We started at 6 p.m. and ended at 6 a.m. and
yeah, we did the whole thing one sitting and just...
There was this great thing, and it kept happening. It was whenever you collected those stupid animals. Captain Quark had about, I think it was 3 to 5 different lines. But you collect them so often, and if you die, they respawn, so you collect them again. And Captain Quark kept saying, I'm going to name you Philip. And
that's the line. That's the squishy line from Dory.
There we go.
That's what I was thinking of. I'm going to name you Philip. And you'll be my Philip.
Oh, he's got the shield. Oh, that's right. I knock him into the lava. Oh, sorry. My screen goes black on my end every now and then. It doesn't on the stream. But
I wouldn't recommend All for One as single player. It's quite good in 2-player.
You want it in a group.
You really want...
Or more.
Yeah, I think it does work best for 2-player. Once you get 3 or 4, I've played a bit of kind of more than 2. And it just gets a little bit too much, and it's hard to coordinate everyone to move correctly.
I suppose it would, but
2-player is the sweet spot for that game. But A Crack in Time is the game
that we would
was
recommend.
right before All for One.
Yeah,
it was the game before All for One, and that was purely single player, very traditional Ratchet and Clank of refining quite a lot.
It was very refined. It did introduce new things, as I was saying, the ships, the moons, and I wouldn't call the hover boots so much new as a mega refinement and improvement.
Yeah, and the
constructor weapons,
and also Clank gameplay.
Oh yeah, it had the best Clank gameplay in the franchise, for sure.
So that's the one. If you haven't played A Crack in Time, you definitely need to play A Crack in Time.
Play Tools of Destruction first. Don't bother about Quest for Booty. You really won't miss anything. Just wiki what happens in that. And this is coming from me, who's a super completionist and says, no, you have to play through everything. Like, literally, this is... It as Caleb has said, he's used the word tech demo. It really was. And I'm glad they used it as a tech demo for the new wrench functionality, because I didn't like it in the tech demo, but I did like it once they refined it for the main game. Yeah. So we've gone on a really big sidetrack talking about that. But, every time Captain Quark said, I'm going to name you Philip, it just, because it was that sort of 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., it was about 3 a.m. at the morning where that joke we nearly, split our sides laughing every time he said it. Oh, he just sucked out all my ammo.
Oh, man.
That is an annoying piece of functionality. The bosses in the new Ratchet and Clank do have some really good functionality, and I don't want to spoil it, but I will comment on it once we get to that point in the stream. And Caleb knows what I'm talking about, because we had this discussion, we just thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It's actually one of my favourite boss battles just in Ratchet and Clank now in general, that one. So yeah, even though I'm going to be honest, guys, when I saw that Insomniac was doing this, there was this part of me that says, first Ratchet and Clank on PS4, taking on board all the stuff they learned over the years. And I thought to myself, oh, this could be my new favourite. And I was really hoping it would be, but it isn't. And I'm going to be honest, A Crack in Time is still my favourite. But that's because, well, I guess you can see why. You can tell I'm talking so fondly of it. So there we go. So basically, just as a recap in this game, Quark has now betrayed Ratchet and Clank, and you discover that basically he's working for Chairman Drek and is not a nice person. So he's working for Drek and he tried to basically kill you and Clank. Get rid of you.
We need support now. Actually, I need support. My entire battalion
So the other thing you may notice is that this boss battle, in terms of environment with lava and all that, is very similar to the one Caleb did on the space station, but I had a giant snapping thing attacking me. So this is where they're starting to change things up. And what we're seeing here is a rift between Ratchet and Clank. The start of their friendship has now been sort of done away with. They're not friends at this point.
They're working together because they have to.
They're working together because they have to. Whereas in the new one, they don't have this rift in their friendship. And I think that does affect the overall story of the game quite a bit. See Noobstein in the chat. He's saying the exact same things. I love how the first game they're mostly fighting. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right?
I feel that the way they fight here and the resolution they reach makes them a much stronger duo by the end of it.
But I know if you look at reviews back in the day, the thing people didn't like about Ratchet and Clank was the fighting.
Really?
And people, compared to later ones, are like, it just the way that they especially didn't like Ratchet as a character, just the way that he was towards Clank, and so if you look at the reviews, that was a lot of the criticism around that, which is basically the newer games have changed that look, and like going back to this, they've kind of inherited the modern.
I reckon Ratchet was quite nasty to Clank, but I reckon they could have worked it in a more justifiable way. Like, basically in this, Ratchet starts doubting Captain Quark at the last second. If Ratchet had been doubting him from much earlier, and Clank had been dragging him, then that would have been a bit fairer. But for Ratchet to just doubt 10 seconds before Quark betrays them, and then to hold that over Clank, that is a bit unrealistic, I think. But I'm not gonna lie, the first time I finished Ratchet and Clank 1, and it's a 14-year-old game, so who cares about spoilers here, the way that Clank has his arm broken again, and they're on Velden, and Ratchet's like, oh, you'll be okay, and Ratchet walks up to his house, and Clank's just sitting there, sort of bobbing his head down alone, and Ratchet comes, well, why aren't you coming? Come on. I did shed a tear there, because I thought it was a really good ending, and a really beautiful moment. But
So what are we doing now? Am I going to...
you're going to Gaspar.
Okay, I'm going to Gaspar. Cool.
So perhaps the fighting is more forced than I'm willing to admit from my memory, but I liked it better than them just getting along perfectly. And I think there's something to be said for the fact that they could, even though technically they weren't friends, that there's just something in the duo that they can still not be friends and save the world together. Because if that's what they can do when they're not friends, what can they do when they're friends? I like that thought. I'll write a thesis about it.
So, this level that you're on right now is in the new game,
Yeah.
but it's changed.
Oh, it's very changed.
And we'll take a look at that soon. Should I just go through the main part of this level?
Actually, I've got a better idea. Go and do the side objective, and I will do this grind rail, and then I'll go there, and then we can do this level together.
Okay. Where is the side objective?
It's the side.
Do I have to go to the main thing first, though?
No, you don't. Because there's a grind rail up the top.
Ah, okay, yeah.
This was one of the first places they showed us, and it looked beautiful. I mean, in trailers.
Man.
Is
it lava, you mean?
No, the level, the lighting, and everything. It's just a gorgeous level. Because I never liked gas.
I can't. This is the end of the grind rail. Wait, what am I doing?
Oh, you jump on top.
I don't think I can.
What are you doing wrong? No, there's another one.
Another one?
Yeah, you'll find it. Trust me. Yeah, I told you. Oh, I was so busy looking at your screen, I fell off my grind rail.
Okay. Oh, we can compare grind rails.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
Different
3,
level.
2, 1. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, wait, what? Do I have grind boots yet?
Try.
I don't think I have grind boots yet.
No, I'm certain you got them.
I've only got magna boots. It's just hot.
Where'd you get grind? Where don't you get
Grind boots required. I think I get them on the end of this level.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the movie's coming out soon, but it's not coming out here till either a lot later, or I don't even know it's
Okay.
coming out at all.
We'll do the main path, see if you get... But I'm certain you get the jetpack from the main path. Have you missed a mission somehow? Go to your ship and check. I like how we both claim to have finished this game just
I'm
recently.
pretty sure you get to the end of this level. Does anyone know? I played this game yesterday.
Like, he played it yesterday, I played it
Yeah,
today.
no, you gotta go... Yeah, you gotta go through this level to get the boots.
Okay.
The jetpack is at the end of the grind rail.
Okay.
Yeah, I played
I just remember you get the jetpack from this level.
Yeah, you do. And the grind boots.
Oh, I get it. You need the grind boots to get to the creepy guy.
To get to the jetpack.
To get to the jetpack. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we know. We know. We're just pretending.
That was all acted and staged. We're reading this from a script right now. Even this bit. And that. Not this bit, though. I've added this one in for fun. So, it doesn't really make sense that I'm just hitting these mines with my wrench so that my wrench makes them explode. Rather than Yeah.
So, when they first showed off this level...
Oh.
This level that I'm on right now, this lava level,
Mm-hmm.
it was like so different and dramatic and pretty that I didn't recognize what it even was from the first game. I'm like, is this like a new planet or something? Because it just looked so different.
No, I knew what it was already because I just remembered the layout, but I was blown away by how good it looked.
Yeah, because I think maybe they were just kind of standing there, kind of panning around or something. They hadn't really gone through the layout yet.
Okay. So, I'll let this infobot play and I'll show you what Planet Gaspar looks like. Now, it wasn't a particularly nice looking environment. So, in Ratchet & Clank 1, you go there to get the pilot helmet. So you can fly fighting ships with your mind.
So you're going to be here
Yeah,
soon.
you reverse it like a car and you explode. It's great.
So maybe I should wait for you.
I'll be there in a moment.
Yeah, I'll just chill here. Chill in this corner. Sit down or something. Maybe I'll just fly over here.
So this is what I'm talking about here. Ratchet wants to go to that planet for the pilot helmet. Clank goes, they might know where Drek is. And so what are they going to do? They're both going to go there, even though they're grumpy.
Yeah, you felt like Ratchet doesn't act like this in any of the other games. Not this attitude, right?
Well, it's a different voice actor too.
There is that as well, and it's just
Blame the voice actor, not the writer.
something I do like, which I'll just point out in a second. And I think this is new. Maybe it's not new, but these little wherever they are. I think I already destroyed it.
That frame
The little
rate drop.
dispenser bot things that dispense.
Oh
these little-
yes, that was cool.
and they run around.
Yeah. That they didn't do that before, and it's cool to see them.
No, that was. I was like, oh man, that's cool.
It's just like that was a cool idea.